Hey, hi, hello. It has been a minute. Yeah, I have not posted anything recently because my computer died, plain and simple. And everything I had sort of like ready to post, or at the very least ready to edit, was a vlog of some form. Yeah, I've got like 3 or 4 vlogs just sitting in the memory of my phone right now, waiting for some attention that I can't give them because I'm not editing. I'm not even attempting to try to edit a vlog on my phone. Um, if you're seeing this, it's because I did manage to upload it without editing and I managed to just do it straight from my phone to YouTube, which I'm fairly certain is possible. You're just not going to have a thumbnail or anything fancy. There's going to be no pictures popping up and about. It's just going to be me and my plain background. That's all we're going to get. Because, yeah, I can't really justify buying a new laptop right now because the only thing, or a new computer of any kind, because the only thing I use it for is editing videos. And quite frankly, I can't justify the expense of a new computer on a hobby. It's that simple. So yeah, that's where I've been. If I do manage to upload this, I will give maybe in the next week or so, I will sit down and film sort of like, here's what I've been up to in the last couple of months, here's what I've been reading, a wee update, life update. But in the meantime, we're going to try and keep this relatively short so that I don't spend 40 minutes to an hour talking to the camera only to find that it was pointless. And we're just going to jump straight into today's video-ish. That is, we're going to do the 5-star prediction tag that was created fairly recently by Chloe Frizzle. I'm relatively organised. I kind of have to be to do it in this format. So I have notes of what the prompts are. Books are in a stack beside me. We got this. We're gonna do this. So starting off with the first one. But yeah, sorry, but very briefly. Chloe made this tag as a way of trying to help her decide what she thinks might be a 5-star prediction, because just as a general rule, like just saying I think these books in particular will be 5 stars, it can be kind of hard. It's why I've avoided doing one of these before. So she made a list of prompts and picked a book for each prompt, and that's exactly what I've done. So without too much more rambling, the first prompt is a 5-star prediction that is from a favourite author. This one was a wee bit, there was really only one option for this one, because so these are my TBR shelves, stacks, whatever you want to call them. There's not a huge amount on there that is by an author I have read more than once. There's a few on there by an author who I've read one book from, but you can't really call an author a favourite author if you've only read one of their books, even if you did give them 5 stars. So for this one, I've had to go with Check and Mate by Ali Hazelwood. I have probably given, I think I have given everything I've read by Ali Hazelwood a 5-star, because she is my go-to, or one of my go-to, I just need to switch my brain off and read something easy and fun and fluffy and whatever. That she is that author for me. She fills that need perfectly. Check and Mate is her YA debut. Can we call it a debut? It's her first YA novel. It is, I think, her sort of like, I think it's a rivals to lovers. They are chess rivals. That's all I got for you. But it's Ali Hazelwood, so chances are I'm going to love it. I think this is, from what I've heard, this is basically your typical Ali Hazelwood, but without the smut, which I'm here for. I'm totally here for. The next one is a 5-star prediction based on someone else loving it. As in, you picked this up because someone that you know loved and raved about this book. So I'm going to go with The Fine Print by Lauren Asher. I know in the booktube sphere some people either really enjoyed this and a lot of people really didn't. However, around about the time, not long before I left the lab, there was a few of us, we were reading a lot, and we were reading a lot of the same things. Like, we all fell in love with Fourth Wing, and we had a lot of recommendations going back and forth. And this was one I'd kind of seen, it was on my periphery, and then one of my colleagues read it and she absolutely adored it. She thought it was brilliant. And I think it must have only been like £2 or £3 in the works. So I figured, why not? Yeah. I'm not 100% certain if this is a 5-star prediction, but I do have high hopes for this, so we'll see. The next one, it is a blurb or trope that is your thing. Now, I'm just going to say, I hate this cover. I do not like I don't like the colours of it, or I don't like anything about this cover. It's actually looking a lot paler on the screen right now. The cover I have, it's much more of like a luminous highlighter yellow that's horrible. But I picked this up because I have developed a thing for a murderous protagonist. I read How to Kill Your Family and I loved it. I read How to Kill Men and Get Away with It and I loved it. I read Murder Your Employer and I loved it. This is the next book in a string of Amy Reed's murderous protagonists. You will get that video eventually that will just be me listing and recommending books with murderous protagonists. But yeah, this is what is this? I think this is basically about a woman who puts out a message saying, look, if you're on a really awful date or something and you need a hand getting away, give me a message, like and I will come and like rescue or something like that, or like I'll come up with an emergency you need to get to. And yeah, I think she ends up then getting a message from someone being like, can you help me get rid of this guy? Because you get rid of this guy permanently because he's really no good. And it kind of goes from there. Yeah, I'm excited. I'm fairly certain I'm going to love this because it ticks all of my murderous boxes. What can I say? The next one is a bold or risky prediction that you need to manifest into a 5-star. This is a book that I picked up. I kind of picked this up as like a combination deal. It's Airframe by Michael Crichton. I picked this one up because I really wanted to start reading some Michael Crichton. Obviously I wanted Jurassic Park, which I still haven't actually read yet. But I also wanted to pick up like a couple more of his books to really get a taster for it. Since I picked them up, I've read The Andromeda Strain, which I actually really enjoyed. I think I gave it 4 stars, round about there. But this was basically in a weird deal where it was Jurassic Park, The Andromeda Strain, and Airframe, where it was cheaper to buy all 3 than it was just the 2. So why not? This is basically a thriller about a plane that makes an emergency landing in California. It was supposed to go from Denver to Hong Kong. Yep. But it makes this emergency landing, and whilst it's landing, the crew are like, you're going to need to get a whole bunch of ambulances and paramedics here, because we have 90-something passengers who are injured, 3 of them are dead, and the cabin has been completely trashed. Oh, and no one actually knows what happened. So I think this is either going to be edge of my seat read, I cannot put it down, or it's going to be a bit of a trawl, because I feel like I've seen this movie, I've watched this TV series, I've just never read it as a book, and yeah, these tropes really are hit or miss for me. So it has potential. So we just need to make it happen, right? The next one, the 6th prompt, is a book you've been putting off because your hopes are so high. Now this is a book that I am fairly certain I am going to give it 9 stars. And that is Tsunami Girl by Julie Sedgwick and Chie Katsuada. This follows the journey, physical and emotional, I believe, that is undertaken by a 15-year-old and her grandfather as they deal with the aftermath of the Tohoku earthquake and tsunami, the 2011 Japanese earthquake and tsunami that completely devastated the area, resulted in a nuclear I'm going to say like there was issues with the nuclear plant. I'm going to say forgive me if my memories of that are hazy. When all this was happening, I was writing my dissertation. So I know it was happening. You could not escape that news, and absolutely devastating, and sympathised with everyone affected. But that's a really blurry time zone for me. But yeah, this is going to be such a hard emotional read. I know it is going to destroy me. I am really looking forward to that. Because it's fine, that's what I'm like. But yeah. It's almost like a rainy day book. I keep putting it off going, I just need to wait till I'm in the perfect mood for this, and then I just never pick it up. I'm also quite excited about this because it is mixed media. It's mostly prose, but every so often there are sort of like comic strips dotted throughout it. So I just think that will make it for a really interesting read. But yeah, Tsunami Girl. Okay, next up, a beautiful cover that you already love. Spin the Dawn by Elizabeth Lim. Not ashamed to admit, this was a complete cover buy. I mean, it does sound really interesting. In my head, it's basically like a Mulan retelling, but she's a tailor instead of a warrior. Plus magic. But yeah, I bought this specifically because of the cover. Not gonna lie. Same with Six Crimson Cranes by the same author, which I am currently listening to the second one, The Dragon's Promise, and really enjoying it. So do have very high hopes for this. And to be honest, I think this appeals to me more than Six Crimson Cranes did, which kind of elevates my excitement for this one. But yeah, absolutely. Pretty cover, gorgeous, love it. The colour scheme, the art style, everything about it is perfect. It's what convinced me to buy it. Okay, number 8. There are 10 prompts in total, by the way. But number 8 is the next in a series you already love. So I've gone with Adulthood Rights by Octavia E. Butler. I initially put this in the book I'm putting off because I do keep putting this one off as well. I have only read one book by Octavia E. Butler, and that is Dawn, which is the first book in the Xenogenesis or Lilith's Brood trilogy. Adulthood Rights is book 2. Oh my god, guys, what if this one isn't as good as Dawn? Because I read Dawn probably about a year ago, maybe a year and a half ago, and I'm still thinking about it. I'm still thinking about the questions that she posed and those characters, and just like so much about that book I am still thinking about. So what if this doesn't live up? What if, because there is a bit of a time jump, I think. I'm fairly certain there is, because this follows the son of a character from the first book, and I'm really sorry if that is kind of spoilery. It's called Lilith's Brood. You kind of expect that someone's going to have a couple of kids, okay? But yeah, what if it's not as good? I know it will be. I know it will be, because it's Octavia E. Butler. You never hear a bad thing about her. But, guys, but. The next one, our penultimate one, it's popular and you just want to get on that train. A House of Earth and Blood. House of Earth and Blood, not a house. Yeah. I've read all of ACOTAR. I read the first 2 books in the Throne of Grass series. I can't really get into them too much, although I have heard it gets better. I definitely felt that the writing and everything in ACOTAR was better than Throne of Glass. I've heard that this, at the very least, this book 1 is even better than ACOTAR. So I am fairly certain I'm going to love this, but it's chunky, which is intimidating. I think it's like 800 pages or something. But yeah. Again, this one has been on my shelf for a couple of years now, since not long after the paperback was published at least, and I'll get there. I will get there. Yeah. I will join that train at some point. And then the last one, it just gives 5-star vibes. And that is The Resurrectionist of Caligo by Wendy Trimboli and Alicia Zaloga. probably just butchered those names, so I apologise. And I remember reading the back. I got this one in I think it was my Box of Stories subscription. I had that for like 2 or 3 months. And I remember reading the back going, oh my god, I'm going to love this. And then I just never picked it up. Well, but like I say, have you seen how many? Like those shelves are... These 2 shelves in particular, they're doubled up. There's a few books I need to get to. There's at least like 2-3 years worth of reading material there. So I will get to it eventually. Probably 3 or 4 years if you take into account how often I visit the library. Okay. But yeah, I can't actually remember what this is about, and I don't really want to read the back because there's quite a lot written there. But what I do remember is my impression of this right now is that it is basically a Victorian magical murder mystery, possibly secret family, kind of steampunk-esque, and quirky, and just kind of fabulous. So yeah, that's that. But this book also takes us to the end of the video. So we are going to wrap it up there, and hopefully I will see you guys shortly in the next video, and it won't be another couple of months, because chances are I'm not going to be able to replace my computer until sort of like August, September-ish, assuming I get a bonus in work this year. Who knows? And yeah, in the meantime, I will chat to you guys later. Bye bye.